What is going on, everyone? It's your guy, Cole Jackson, back here on Road Graders. And today we're going to be diving into one of my favorite topics. It's going to be some offensive line play, taking a look at Roger Rosengarten and his performance as of late. A guy that's been getting questioned quite a bit, has had some down performances after one of the strongest rookie offensive tackle starts we could have probably had, being absolutely rock solid through a few weeks until he got that starter spot. So what I want to do is I went back through all of the pressures over the last few weeks, and what I want to look at is what's happening, why is it happening, and then more importantly, take a look forward because we are playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who TJ Watt has been a menace to, and he lines up 100% of his snaps against the right tackle. So this is going to be TJ Watt versus Roger Rosengarten. That is going to make a huge impact. We saw Alex Highsmith is out for this game. So I want to dive into what has been going on. Should you be concerned? And, quite frankly, is he struggling? Because if you go look at the PFF numbers, and, I'm sorry, this is probably a little small. You'll have to zoom in a little bit. But essentially, the pressure numbers have racked up. Going back to the Cincinnati game, 4 pressures, Washington 6, Tampa Bay 3, Cleveland 4. Then he has a clean sheet against Denver with 0, but then 4 this past week against Cincinnati. Pause if you guys want to zoom in. Sorry, I know it's a little small. I didn't think it'd be that small when I popped it up on the screen. So what I want to dive into is kind of what's happening and whether or not you should be concerned. Before we jump into it, BetUS has lines up ready to go for this weekend. You can see the Ravens have opened as 3-point favorites over the Pittsburgh Steelers. However, they're giving even odds on +3. So they're trying to play with you a little bit there. So what I want you to do, go over there, check it out, use promo code YouTube150. That'll give you 150% sign up bonus. You'll get 125% on your next 2 deposits over there at BetUS. More money in your wallet, more money in your bets, bigger winnings. So let's dive into it. And what I want to kind of start with is some of the clips from early on, because he came out, as you're going to see here, against Max Crosby and was absolutely rock solid. So here we're going to get one of his first sets. And this is against Max Crosby, one of the best pass rushers in the league. And he's just out there looking smooth, good, ability to reach into his pass set, good hand placement, which is going to be the key that I want to dial in on. See right there, as he's going to pick up, he just looks very smooth moving. And, in that Cincinnati Bengals game, the first one, here, let's watch this. See how he gets out there, and like this is good stuff where he's gonna get out to his set point, and then after he misses his hands, he leans and washes Max Crosby out the back of the pocket, but keeping that pocket composed, solid. And as you can see through all these reps, he's not getting help from a tight end. He's not getting chips. He's just one-on-one with Max Crosby. He's going to pick up the inside move, go on a stunt there, no issues. So this has just been kind of out of character for him. Here we get another one. He's got a 4 tech over top of his head and then a wide tech. He's going to get out there and just get out in space against one of the best pass rushers in the league. Here he is against Von Miller. Going against him one-on-one here. Out smooth. Again, washing out the back of the pocket. No issues there. We're just moving smoothly. We're getting those hands placed. He's going to pick up that bull rush, and then he's going to finish Von Miller there. So, we've seen quite a few reps where he's just looking rock solid. So that's obviously a positive because we've seen how good he can be. And what I was trying to say before I kind of went off track there is in that first Cincinnati Bengals game, week 5, he hurt his ankle. He ended up coming back into the game. Ever since then, if you go look at the numbers that I showed earlier, really since that Bengals game, no, that's not that. Since that Bengals game, again, pause it, zoom in, that's when the pressures started to stack up. So I don't want to give him excuses. It's part of it, but it's not the only thing. So there's 3 things we are going to take a look at that I think is contributing to this. Number 1, lack of awareness in the stunt game. You're going to see him and Daniel Falele. This is why I wanted to vet right guard. This is why I wanted Kevin Zeitler back so bad. Him and Falele have struggled on a number of reps where they're failing to communicate when stunts are coming. So that's number 1. Number 2, his inside hand has been a struggle when he's doing his quick sets. We're going to take a look at some of his quick sets here so I can set the context for you guys. It's been one of his greatest strengths early on, but lately, and I think it's because now that he's starting games, opponents are getting film on him, they're seeing that quick set, they're attacking that inside hand. So that's number 2. And number 3, just general issues with his anchor. However, when people talk about the anchor, it gets frustrating because an anchor is like a concept, but it's not one skill, right? Your anchor is a combination of your hand placement, your strength, your length. Like, it's a number of things that make up someone's anchor. So just saying his anchor sucks, that's not really telling me anything, because I haven't had a huge issue with his functional strength in the pass protection game. I have in the run game. But what the biggest issue for me, and we're going to see here in the clips, is his hand placement, which has become a fundamental issue. So I want to start with the quick sets. That's where we're going to start and take a look at that inside hand. And so what you're going to see here is a few reps where he's hitting this quick set and he's transitioning from a vertical. Sorry, it's skipping. So a quick reminder, there's 3 broad types of pass sets. You're going to get your vertical set, where it's exactly what it sounds like. You're moving straight backwards, essentially. You're going to get your 45-degree set. Again, self-explanatory. You're going out on a 45-degree angle from the line of scrimmage to meet the pass rusher. And then you have a quick or a jump set where you're going straight at. And so what you're going to see here is Rosengarten getting out there, and that's a quick set. So see how he gets out there, Chris Jones, hands on, and you use that to mix up your sets. You're going to see it here where he'll use something like a 45-degree step or a vertical step, and then he'll go out and jump. And so that's what we're going to see here right off the snap. We're going to see that step. So you see right there how he takes that step backwards. Get it from the snap. So watch him go step backwards and then go out, quick set. And see how what he does. The reason he uses this is because with some of his length issues, he wants to get his hands on first. And he's so athletic that if he gets out there and meets the pass rusher, he can control the rep a little bit more. See right there, out, hands on, and then battles through. And that's something that he has done really well through, the majority of the early starts. You saw it against Chris Jones there. So that was something that I wondered if, as teams got a little bit more film on him, if that's something they could attack. And what we're going to see here. So again, we're starting with his inside hand. That has been a struggle. Trying to find my clips here. We should be looking at pretty much all of his pressures allowed through the course of these clips, because I do think they can be pretty much bulked into broad categories, and I think these are going to be the 3. So we're going to start here. So we're going to be looking at his inside hand. So see how he gets out there. And again, this is the fundamental issue to me. I'm clicking on the wrong button. The fundamental issue to me is he's getting out, and watch his hand placement right there. See, his hands are high and wide, and you can see that right hand of his isn't hitting anything. So he's just losing as he tries to recover, turns into a mess. Pressure comes from the left side as well, allowed by Mark Andrews. Lamar goes for a scramble. And I mean, that's one thing we have to factor into his pressure numbers. Sacks, he's allowed 3 sacks, 0 QB hits. It's pretty good. 3 sacks isn't great, but not horrible. 20 hurries, but that's because Lamar Jackson's able to evade. So a lot of people will always say Lamar helps his O-line because of pressures. If Lamar has to scramble or Lamar has to run like he just did there, that's still a pressure allowed. But what Lamar does do is limit QB hits and sacks, absolutely. But those pressures coming, I still don't want my quarterback having to scramble, move around outside of the pocket, all that sort of stuff. That's still pressure allowed. So just to be clear about that. So we saw him get attacked on the inside hand. We're going to see it here against Darius Smith. And you can see it again. There's that quick set, right? He's going to take that step back and then straight out. And he, again, hands. Those hands are high. This left hand, his inside hand, is going to miss. See right there, that's the black glove is Roger Rosengarten's. It's up in the air over top of Zadarius Smith's head, and then he's going to lose right inside. So hand placement, getting out on these quick sets, is a bigger issue to me than anything to do with his quote-unquote anchor or strength. It's all hand placement. You're going to see it against a sack against Yaya Diaby here. Gets out, he misses. It allows that open door. There's just missing on that inside hand. Lamar gets sacked. You're going to see him on a play action play here. He's got to get out in space right away. Not quite, just to be clear, this isn't quite the same as a quick set given it's off play action, but it's still the same concept of him quickly moving out in space to meet his pass rusher. It's similar to a quick set. You can see right here, there's those hands missing. That's Joe Tyrone, who's going to get around him. Lamar has to throw it away. So again, our hand placement, we're missing right here. Again, this one's not as bad because, that's about 3 seconds to the pressure. That's not horrible off a quick set, but still missing on his hands. And when he misses on his hands, he ends up having to overcompensate, swaying his body, and that can lead to more misses in that pass protection. See right there, he gets out on his guy and he loses his hands right away. Lamar almost gets rolled up, or not rolled up on, almost gets hit from behind there. We're going to get out in space against Dante Fowler here. And again, see how he's just, those hands are missing. We're not controlling the rep anymore at this point. We're not doing what we're intending to do with that quick set. We're getting out there. We're hitting right there. He misses his hands. Dante Fowler's controlling this. As I try and compensate to go back, now look where his feet are. His feet are facing the wrong direction. I'm opening that inside lane. And right there, he's going to take that inside lane and get a little contact on Lamar. So not great here against the Bengals last week. We're going to get out there, quick set. Not as bad on this one. That's a slow burn loss. Daniel Falele comes in and pops him. But again, you see the hand placement. His hands are wide. And right there, well, let me get the right pause. See if we can get it. See right there, his right hand's moving back like that. His left hand's on the outside. We're just having our chest controlled through this rep. So it's been a pretty big issue. So that inside hand on those quick sets, fundamental issue that is causing him problems. So the irony being, those quick sets are one of his greatest strengths. Advanced level offensive line play to be able to use those, but now we're getting into trouble. Again, I think it's because teams are getting film on that, and now they're able to attack once he comes out with that quick set. They're attacking that inside hand, or they're using a little bit more gyration in their pass rushes that's causing him to miss with his hands and cause those hand placement issues. Now we get into what I guess broadly would be called an anchor issue. But this is essentially him giving up bull rushes or losing to power. And so we'll see a lot of these. So this is going to be the sack against the Broncos. 98 takes him on. So you can see the Broncos are going to show. He's expecting to have to kick step out to zero as the wide tech. As the snap goes, he drops out. 98 comes to him. That becomes his man. And you can see right there, inside hand, he's going to get a long arm from Franklin Myers. I can't remember his name. And he's just going to drive him back. So that, to me, starts with a hand placement issue. So as his hands miss wide right there, again, he's giving that inside position, and then he doesn't have the functional strength to recover. Lamar gets sacked. This is going to be a sack against Dante Fowler. And again, look at so this one, less of a hand placement, more of his feet. Look how narrow his base is as he takes the contact here. So as the contact comes, his feet are basically together. He doesn't have that wide base to absorb contact, and he's just going to get walked, lose his hands, give up a sack. So there's 2 sacks allowed on pretty much the same issue. Anchor issues, but mostly hand placement and body positioning, not so much. I mean, I guess you could kind of argue it's strength because his strength isn't able to recover. That's a fair point. But I do think the hand placement is the first issue that he needs to fix. Get out here against Zaw Smith. Again, it's a guy that would be, that kind of speed to power conversion. See there, he's going to give up that inside hand. Kind of the same issue. Lamar gets sacked from the other side. This was one of those plays. So, you're going to get a 1-step drop from Lamar. So Lamar's going to 1-step drop, and he's looking to throw. That pressure comes from inside from Roger Rosengarten. So Lamar is going to go back out the pocket because PFF didn't charge Ronnie Stanley with this sack. So again, Zadarius Smith is going to attack the inside hand. Lamar is going to step out the back of the pocket, and there's Ronnie Stanley pushing his guy around the arc right into him. So they didn't charge him for that because it's QB 1-step drop, and Ronnie on his side blocks it as a 1-step drop. So right there where Ronnie is, because Lamar took a 1-step drop, he shouldn't be dropping back any further, but Roger Rosengarten loses inside, forces that step back into Ronnie's guy. So it's one of those interesting nuances once you jump into offensive line play. You got to look at, why did the QB do what he did? Why did he end up where he is? And why is he getting sacked? As much as people thought that was Ronnie Stanley, off the context of a 1-step QB drop, it actually wouldn't be. I would blame Roger Rosengarten for that. So that's kind of 3 sacks in a row we've just seen. Now we're going to get out in space here. And again, look at those. It's just poor hand placement over and over and over again. A little bit of a narrow base as he gets in the contact point there, drops his body. But as his body drops, his shoulders drop. He's not able to hit those hands. Here we are again last week, getting out in space, and we're going to give up our chest and get walked through a little bit there. So again, those hand placement issues. He gives up his chest. He's hitting his hands wide. He's hitting his hands a little high. That's causing him fundamental issues in a lot of these reps. Another one. So he's trying to fight there. As he's trying to fight, as he tries to bring his elbows in, ends up getting walked around. There's on the inside. Slow burn loss here. I kind of wanted to show this one because I don't have an issue with these types of reps. This isn't a clear loss to me, but when he has these hand placement issues, you can get stagnated reps like this, right? Like he recovers pretty well there because he gets his handcuffs in. See his hands right at this point. See those handcuffs in. You see that wide base. He starts to get that arc back. That's what you want to see. So definitely something we know Roger Rosengarten can do. It's just about more consistent application of that technique. So going through all that, there's kind of those two fundamental issues, pretty similarly linked issues, some common causes for that inside hand, that those anchor issues, but fundamental hand placement issues is kind of what I'm seeing through these reps. This is something that does make me nervous when we look at the context of having a game against TJ Watt, because he's so damn good with his hands. It's what he does best. And now we're going to have a full day of Roger Rosengarten versus TJ Watt in pass protection. And now we're going to take a look at some of these awareness reps. This is just going to be poor stunt handoffs between Filele and Rosengarten. So you're going to get here, stunt's going to come. Roger Rosengarten's basically turned the wrong way. As that happens, you can see BJ Hill starts to slip through and Rosengarten can't adjust. So he gets picked here. Filele comes off pretty well. You can see him start to drop back and then come off, but Roger Rosengarten wasn't able to pick up the penetration guy from BJ Hill there. Lamar goes for a scramble, all good. Going to get another issue here. See that happening again where BJ Hill is going to attack and Roger Rosengarten doesn't even see him coming. See him get attacked there, and then both of them. Luckily, BJ Hill's not athletic enough to make a play there, but two fundamentally, almost the same reps over and over again. He's not seeing, or he's not getting communication from Daniel Filele that inside man is slanting down. He needs to get that note. He's coming down. I have to switch my body position. I have to use that inside hand to jerk it up and take over, then reposition my body so that the guard can leave to pick up the looper. So that's just not happening on these reps. Can see here, pretty much the same thing. You're going to get a stunt crossing his face. Where is it? I lost it. So hold on. You're going to get the edge player is going to come in. He's going to stunt, and then the linebacker is going to come off of him. And, luckily Lamar, being who he is able to make a play. Rashad Bateman with that ugly drop. Then right here, I might have put this rep in the wrong video. Yeah, this I was trying to just show. Poor hand placement. My bad, guys. Then we get into a rep here against the Commanders. And again, 94 is going to take over. Pretty much the same thing. So him and Filele need to get that figured out. That's one of those things that I think a guy like Kevin Zeitler in at right guard could have made a big difference just with, fundamentally working with Roger Rosengarten a little bit better. But those are kind of my three big things. That's what I'm noticing. All those pressures fit into three broad categories. Inside hand, specifically off his quick set. Anchor issues, mostly related to hand placement. And awareness issues, picking up stunts with Daniel Filele. So that's what I have for you guys. I am a little worried as we go into this game with TJ Watt, but quite frankly, I'm always worried when you're going against the elite edge rushers. Those are the guys that can wreck games. Those are the guys that can give you huge problems. Alex Highsmith missing this game means Ronnie Stanley's going to see Nick Herbig, who's coming back. And, what I would be doing in this game is using my tight end, using Isaiah Likely if he's back, using Mark Andrews, using Charlie Kohler, and chipping the hell out of TJ Watt. Get Patrick Ricard out there. I know it sucks to only get 4 guys out in patterns, but if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. You cannot let TJ Watt wreck this game against the rookie. So looking forward to what Roger Rosengarten can do in this game. What a bounce back if he can get out there and have a very good game against TJ Watt. We know he can do it. We know he has the ability, just has to do it consistently. That's what I have for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're new here, and thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video.